Good evening everyone and welcome to Rush Green for West Ham's Premier League 2 game. The first time we're here at Rush Green in the new year, and I am joined with Mark Phillips to my left, back up in the gantry. Good evening Mark, how are you?
Not bad. You seem to import lots of cold weather every time you ask me to do this, but I'm alright, I'm okay, thanks.
Well, you seem a lot more prepared for this cold weather with the long coat, the gloves and the fluffy West Ham hat, so
when you
should be suited to this weather.
When you get to the age of 63, you've got to be prepared for cold weather.
I wouldn't have thought 63 at all. Anyway, of course, their opponent today, Sunderland. What do you make of Sunderland? Have you seen much of them from this season or from beforehand, before this campaign?
Yeah, last season we played them in, I think it was the playoff semi-finals or quarter-finals away to them. I know their coach quite well, Graham Murty. I've done a 2 years course with Graham, so I know him well. And without being biased, on the day we absolutely battered them. I don't know how they went through. I think they lost to Spurs in the final, but it was very unfortunate. So we sort of 0-1. You have different teams in different years, so and we're very close to each other in the league. I think there's one position in it, and we have a game in hand. So obviously the sides are very close, and hopefully we can come out with the spoils tonight.
Of course, the game last year, which was gutting in May, 1-1 at full time, and then in extra time 3-3, and it's Callum Marshall who scored in the 117th minute, for that to then be cancelled out by their Tom Watson to make it 3-3 in the 119th, and it was a pretty bleak end to the game, of course resulting in penalties, which was unfortunately didn't go in the way of the Hammers. So like you said, hopefully West Ham can get their own back on Sunderland. Very tight in the table, West Ham in 14th, Sunderland in 10th, so both in the top 16, the playoff places. Of course, though, Sunderland have played one game more. They're on 10 games played, 16 points, and the Hammers 1 game played less and just 1 point less. So, of course, a win will see them go over the Black Cats this evening. And it's a fairly changed side, of course. Big changes for the Hammers in recent weeks. Graham Potter coming in, which just opens up another avenue for the academy. What have you made of that appointment so far, Mark?
A fantastic appointment, and I'm not just saying that because he's sort of, I suppose, indirectly my boss. If anyone who knows me would tell you that I've been but hoping for Graham Potter to come in for the last maybe 18 months, 2 years. I just think he's a great fit for our football club. He'll build the club in the right way, which includes the academy, includes the first team. He's got a great style of play, and when he was at Brighton he was exceptional. I don't think Chelsea was the right fit for him, and I think West Ham United will be.
I completely agree. It's really exciting to have a manager like Potter and his backroom staff. Not only is he a smart tactician, but also his man management side of the game. He's also very emotionally intelligent and understands the mindset aspect, so that will trickle down to the players and the academy as well. He did say in his pre-match conference against Crystal Palace, of course that game's tomorrow, he did say that the academy was central to West Ham, and here they come, the players in claret and blue, looking forward to what the year could have in store for them. Of course, a few players starting in this lineup this evening, making their Premier League 2 debuts and starts for the first time. But in their way is Sunderland, who of course are just above them in the league. But as mentioned, West Ham have a chance to climb up the table, and a win, an opening win at Rush Green of the new year, would be a great way to go about setting their sights on finishing as high as possible. Of course, one exciting appointment. Graham Potter, the academy is central, he said, and it should be respected. Of course, it gives them a crop of players that they can choose from. That was his answer when journalists were asking him about the January transfer window. Of course, he declined to comment on what their transfer targets were. He said they've got the academy and they've got these players here coming on the screen now. The lineup for this evening for your Hammers, of course, in goal, Finlay Herrick with Junior Robinson. Ezra Mayers, who celebrated his 18th birthday yesterday with Preston Fearon. So both players turning 18 just yesterday, with Aridas Golombekis. He's making his first start in the Premier League 2 this evening in centre-back with Louis out. Ryan Battram wearing the captain's armband with Tyronak Pata in midfield, Josh Ajala, Kamari Swaya and Amika Adieli. Substitutes: Sean Tarima, Mason Terry, Dan Rigg, Sean Moore and Regan Clayton. As for the away side, Kelechi Chibweze with Tom Lavery, Oliver Bainbridge, Ben Middlemass, Joe Anderson, Luke Bell, Reece Walsh, Jaden Jones, Ahmed Abdullah, Jack Whitaker and Jensen Jones. Substitutions for the side managed by Graham Murty: Finn Holcroft, Daniel Cameron, Finn Garagusian, Aaron Chung and Joe Neild. So those are your lineups, and here we are for the first game in Rush Green of the new year. Of course, a bit of a changed lineup, Mark. It's been really good to see other players get a chance in the first team. Of course, Ollie Skulls and Caelan Casey as well, but Skulls especially in the last few games, he's enjoyed times with the first team, and that then allows other players to then step into this under-21 side. What have you made of Ollie Skulls and his time in the first team of late?
He actually made his debut in the European competition 2 years ago and never really kicked on from it. I mean, there's Ollie Skulls, there's Lewis Alford, there's Caelan Casey, and I was quoted the other day, in the first team they won't let anybody down. They're great technicians, and I'm really pleased for it. And it's only good for these boys. I mean, we've got a lot of under-18s in this side today, and that's a kick-on from that. You've got 21s playing in the first team, you've got 18s filling there, and that is what it's all about. Obviously you're trying to win games within that as well, but it's the progression of players and developing players is what it's all about. We play junior.
Of course, Skulls impressed when he came on against Bournemouth to make his Premier League debut in the final 15 minutes, and then getting that first start domestically against Aston Villa last weekend was also promising. No Lewis Orford in the lineup or the bench this evening, so perhaps there could be a chance that he could be involved against Crystal Palace tomorrow.
My lips are sealed. Yes, he is. He's in the squad tomorrow, as is Caleb and as is Ollie. That's why they're not involved at all tonight.
Three players that have played a lot here at Rush Green in the last year and a half. They've had to be patient as well, and it's great to see them, exciting to see the opportunity that could lay ahead of them in the first team. And of course, with a manager who's got a track record of using the academy, they must be certainly excited at this opportunity.
And even better than that, I mean, I can't see from here, I haven't got x-ray eyes, but I've been hearing reports that Graham Potter and Billy are here and Bruno are here to watch tonight, which is fantastic for our players, all the first team coaching staff, and that's what it should be about, to come to watch them, so let's hope they can impress.
Well, the eyes of the first team manager on them this evening, or the head coach at least. Here's Adieli, of course, has enjoyed his time at parts for West Ham this season in the Premier League 2. He's had a successful time in the cup competitions as well, specifically the National League Cup. Sunderland dominate the ball. Tried to take it to the byline, giving Mayers some defending to do.
And you have to remember that Ezra Mayers, he's still under 18 himself. He's been with the 21s regularly for maybe a year or so, something like that. But he is still, eligible to play for the under 18s.
Likewise with Preston Fearon and Aridas Golombekis. And here is Fearon, just trying to pass it out to this evening's captain in Ryan Battram. He's played in a more advanced role of late. I know he's a versatile player, Mark, but Mark Robson and the coaching staff have favoured him to play in that attacking position amongst Swire and Ajala.
I think him personally favours the attacking position. He can play right back, he can play as a holding midfielder, he can play as an attacking midfielder, but I think he's requested that to be looking for a position in the side it is more advanced.
I suppose you could argue that's quite a big request in a way to say to the manager, can they play there? And the fact that Mark Robson has showed faith in Battram to play there when asked shows a lot about the qualities that Mark Robson thinks Battram possesses.
Yeah, and Ryan's not the sort of fella to be knocking doors down. I think it might have been a polite request or an email knowing Brian because he's that sort of fella, but I think he just requested it. And I thought he wasn't getting the ball for a minute.
Just trying to switch it, but here's Robinson. Now Golombekis. Of course, has featured for the under-21s recently in their National League Cup games against Ebbsfleet and Sutton. Come on as substitutes as well in the Premier League International Cup, but yet to make a start in the Premier League too, and West Ham win a foul through Adieli. Of course, is playing in that left wing-back role that Scarles would often play. Of course, Ollie Scarles, a left wing-back at trade, would you say? I know he likes to attack, but for West Ham, he's been playing in that left-back role when used.
I think he can play both. I think his probably favourite position is when we play three at the back, and he plays as a left wing-back. He's another one that, I bet a lot of people don't know this, he's another one who was released by Chelsea and we took him at quite a young age, very young age. So he's been with us a long time, but he lives in Kent, and I think we wanted him as...
Golombekis is onto that.
Hello.
Could they get the first goal? Like Patter's shot is deflected, and it's the first corner for West Ham.
Yeah, and we wanted him. He chose Chelsea to start with as an under-9, and he was there for, I think it's 1 or 2 years, I can't remember. Chelsea released him, and we said, oh, thanks very much. A little bit like a certain player called Declan Rice. Different styles of player, but similar routes into the game. Modesty forbids me to mention it, but obviously both coached by me.
So you're the reason why they get to where they go. If you can't make it through Chelsea, sign up to West Ham, play under Mark, and that's the route to first team football. And that's the route to almost a goal. Louis out, hitting it wide. Ends up being a pass to the skipper as Batteram feeds it across the face of the goal. But the goalkeeper, Chibueze, had to be alert to that. So plenty of West Ham shirts around it. It looked like it could have been a fairly simple tap-in.
I think it should have been. I think Josh couldn't sort his feet out, actually, if you look at it again.
See on the replay, Ajala's just behind the goalkeeper from that view. West Ham on the front foot though. Now Robinson. And he goes as far as Batteram. Of course, Eridas Golombekis. What have you made of his time at West Ham? Of course, he's an England under 19.
He's always been hardly like Idicam. He's always been really, whichever age group he's been in, he's always played up a year. He's always done very well at that. And last season we got knocked out of the Youth Cup by Manchester City. He played as a schoolboy. He's only a first year now, so they've been in under, and he was probably our best player.
A tall frame, fairly nimble stature though as a centre half.
Yeah. He's very understated, unassuming, never sort of gives it the big one about how good he is. He's just not that sort of lad. But he's got very high hopes of him, really. I don't want to put any pressure on him, but got very high hopes.
He only turned 17 in the last year, so...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's a promising prospect. And we'll want to kick on in this under-21 side. Seeing the players go on like Orford and Scarles. Of course, Michael Forbes recently was given the chance to play first-team football at Bristol Rovers, but unfortunately that time came to an end with a hamstring injury. Have you managed to see Forbes since he's come back?
Unfortunately, I see him every day. No, not unfortunately, I'm really friends with Michael. Yeah, I see him today having treatment actually, sort of thing. He wants to get the hamstring repaired. I don't know if he's looking to go back out on loan or maybe playing the 21s. I'm not sure what it is, but not every loan's a complete success. I'm not saying that wasn't a success, but when you think of, he played
good footwork there from Golombekis.
If you think of Callum Marshall last season at West Brom, I'd say it, and I sat to Callum's face and he'd agree with me. He went to West Brom, quite an unsuccessful loan. This year he's gone to Huddersfield. He plays every week. His goals ratio is not what he's used to at this level, but he works his absolute socks off, and that's why the Huddersfield manager, I can't think of it at the top of my head, puts it in the side week in, week out.
Exactly, he's played the full 90 in Huddersfield's last 5 games, scoring twice, and in fact he's actually scored 3 in his last 6 games with a brace at the beginning of that 6-game streak.
I mean, his goal scoring record for the under-18s youth team in the Youth Cup winning. Did I mention we won the Youth Cup?
Not yet.
But his goal scoring record in that and in the under-21s is, was phenomenal. But as you go up through the levels, you find different ways, and I think he'll get back to those levels once he finds out, getting used to playing against men and that.
Of course, playing against that senior opposition.
Yeah.
And I suppose even if he isn't getting the goals that you'd typically associate with a striker playing week in, week out, still getting that exposure against that opposition, and the way he must be doing something right in terms of just playing with the rest of his squad.
Yeah, as I say, his work rate is really high. He works very hard, Callum. He normally works hard to get opportunities for himself, but I think he's working hard for the team, apparently. I haven't been to see Huddersfield yet this year.
Of course, with plenty of under-18s given their chance at the moment. One player that could come through the ranks soon is Gabriel Caliste. Of course, he signed his first professional contract just a couple of weeks ago.
He did indeed, and when I went to the... you mentioned that we played Ebbsfleet a couple of weeks ago. He actually come on in that game. He did play for the 21s. Yeah.
And it's actually in the Premier League too, because of course he actually has played in a couple of the National League Cup games. I think that's something as well that we've seen with the National League Cup. It's one of those competitions where I suppose Mark Robson's more willing to use the under-18s for that game as well as a few of the under-21s too, because ultimately that tournament was made for the under-21s to get exposure against senior opposition, but for the under-18s to get that as well, it's certainly useful for their league.
I think what it's really about is getting used to the physicality. You're playing teams from the National League, they are going to have a physical edge and a physical experience, and it's just getting used to it.
Well, they've had joy in that competition so far. West Ham coming off the back of 3 consecutive wins into this game. So far, though, in the opening 11 and a half minutes, it's in both sides really cancelling one another out. I haven't really seen many clear-cut chances. Hasn't really been too open either.
I think Sunderland have probably dominated the possession stakes of it, but we probably had the best chance when Tyrone come in on the edge of the box. But
good footwork there from Adieli as he's pulled back, and clearly a foul. Of course, Sunderland coming into this game, maybe this could be a bit of a disadvantage to them. They haven't played for over a month. The last time they played was a 2-1 win away to Arsenal. And since then, they've obviously had fixtures cancelled due to the weather, just like West Ham had last Sunday against Liverpool. So you'd think that could actually harm this Sunderland side. What do you make of that, Mark?
Could work well, do. I mean, there's no better practice than playing games, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, if you think of the weather down here the last month or so, imagine what it's like in Sunderland.
Absolutely. I suppose West Ham could have experienced some of that northern weather with their trip away at Liverpool, which will have to be rescheduled. I
think there is a date for it. I did see a date for it the other day. I think it's the 9th of March. What a sad anorak I am to know that.
I could be similar. I should know that coming into this game. That would be a... Do you know what's even sadder though? I could say that's actually a Sunday.
It is.
I'm fairly sure.
The game is on the Sunday.
Yeah, on the Sunday. Look at us.
I know that because my wife's birthday is on the 11th of March, so I thought I better not go to Liverpool. She won't be too happy with that. So
you can make it back in time for the Tuesday.
You don't know.
Why don't you take her up to Liverpool?
You don't know. Oh yeah, I'm sure she'll enjoy that. So she did work for the club for 11 years. She's recently retired.
Oh, congratulations. Is that for Liverpool or West Ham?
West Ham United, man.
Sunderland just trying to play it down that right. There's the back heel from their number 10, Jack Whittaker. He's making his first Premier League 2 appearance. Of course, we're talking about West Ham fielding a few under-18s, but Sunderland have as well.
How many have they got out there?
Jack Whittaker, Ahmed Abdullah, who's signed from Belgian side Ghent, is playing, with Luke Bell, who's made the step up this season, having predominantly been one of the under-18 players.
Oh, so in all fairness to Sunderland, they're sort of matching us for age, which is not all about age, I know, but...
There's Abdullah just trying to lay it off. Of course, they do have some very good players that usually play for their under-21s, but have been given the chance of first-team football recently, especially in the FA Cup last week in that 2-1 defeat against Stoke. This is a good opportunity here for Sunderland. And you could see on the edge of the box, their number 3, Oliver Bainbridge, had his eyes lit up at the ball as it just bounced in front of him.
I think they've got an under-18, under-19 plays regularly in the first team. I can't remember his name.
Connor Rigg.
That's it, Connor Rigg, yeah. He's in the first team, isn't he?
Chris Rigg, actually.
Chris Rigg,
it's C Rigg. But yes, he's
I don't know what age he is, but I know
he's 17.
Yeah,
been extremely good this season. Yeah. So they've got good young players.
I think Connor Rigg might be his brother, is it?
Good defending from Batram. Of course, they've also got another player called Trey Samuel Ogunsuyi, who's 18. He's played a lot for the under-21s, but recently started playing for the first team. Made a few bench appearances.
Well, if they're not involved today, there's a good likelihood they're on the bench or some involvement tomorrow for the first team.
Of course, and with the journey they've got to make it down, it's not like they're going to be playing some players that may be playing for the first team tomorrow, and they've got a long way back.
Yeah, I can remember very, very well after getting beat last year up there in the semi-final. It was quite an unpleasant journey home.
Was it a plane or a coach?
Plane.
You travel by plane. Oh.
No, I'm jesting and laughing. Plane. It's a coach. Plane. You've obviously overestimated the budget of West Ham United's under-21s.
Well, I
comfortable.
I don't
coach.
really understand football finances, to be honest. I didn't know whether it could have been the Premier League or West Ham, but thanks for educating me on that one. The way football all is, a lot of teams like to fly nowadays just for a half-an-hour coach journey. Good interception there from Fearon. Sunderland have more players back here than West Ham have going forward, but Batram's making a way into the box. Here's Swire. Adieli's on the overlap. Tricky feet, but did that a few moments ago, Swire, where the first part of his play, he manages to beat his man, and then perhaps he shows a little bit too much of the ball to the opposition, and they manage to win it back. Mayer's duelling with Abdullah on that far side. It will be a West Ham goal kick.
Good defending from Ezra. Good defending. Just does a nice, solid job. Yeah, I thought originally when Cam was using that feet, I thought he was going to entice someone into a misplaced tackle. He actually didn't.
So 17 minutes gone. What do you think Mark Robson will be thinking right now in the early stages of the game? If you had a globe,
I don't think he'd be able to be over concerned, but I think Sunderland have probably shaded definitely to the possession of it. But I don't think they've asked Finn any questions. I don't remember having a shot or a chance. We haven't any great chances, but do look a little bit more dangerous when we do get into the final third. It's a bit of a midfield tussle at the moment, if I'm honest. And we said before the game, didn't we? Both sides are quite close in a lot of the things they do.
One thing that isn't too close, I suppose, West Ham only scored 13 goals this season in the Premier League 2 compared to Sunderland, who have scored 29.
That is a massive...
a big difference.
It is.
16 more goals. Sunderland, however, have conceded 21. West Ham only 12. West Ham actually boast the second best defence joint with Nottingham Forest in the Premier League 2, and funnily enough the second lowest scorers in the Premier League 2 as well. So although they may not find the back of the net that much, they're able to keep the ball out the back of the net. There's obviously a change up this evening, no Casey. And of course it's good to see Regan Clayton back after a long time out.
Fantastic. Saw Regan today for the I sometimes sort of slip down and have a bit of the pre-match meal with the lads, not to give them any advice, just to have some spaghetti bolognese really. But I see Regan and had a good, and I'm really pleased for him. He's a good lad. I've known Regan a long time. He's a great kid. He just battled away with his injury, battled away. It's been about a year, something like that now. But I'll be really delighted to see him back on the pitch. Really will.
Of course, he made 13 Premier League 2 apps last season. Could he make his first this season this evening? Hopefully so. I'm sure they wouldn't want to rush him back.
No.
So when did he start to make really good progress? When did you start to feel like he was going to make his way back?
In fact, from the very it happened, weeks afterwards, you just tell by his attitude and the way he was talking, and he went through everything with the physios, and that's the key, doing the exercises. I mean, people who go to work and do really hard manual jobs are thinking, what are you talking about? But you're on your own, you're fighting your way back to finish. It's not easy. All I want to do, young lad, and play football. Regan done excellent, really done well fighting his way back. And there's other players who've done it, of course they have, but no, he's a good lad, Regan. I'm pleased for him.
Can you find in football in general then, when players get injured, they can go down one of two ways, either accept it or maybe have some bitterness during their rehabilitation?
Yeah, I don't know about bitterness, but actually, especially younger players, will they do everything that the physio's asking and that sort of stuff?
Swire trying to head it towards Ajala. Letting it bounce, and that is a foul.
I think the worst thing is if you come back from a long-term injury, then you go out and you might play I don't know, a game, and you get it reoccurs, and that is really heartbreaking for the player. It's different if it's a break or but
of course, because then you start to have the worry of what if it just reoccurs
exactly
without even much doing.
Yeah,
is my career destined for being injury ridden?
It becomes a psychological thing. I mean,
of course.
West Ham, one of the greatest players West Ham's ever had is Alan Devonshire, and after he got his injury, it was against Wigan, he was often trying to come back and he just couldn't make it. Obviously the crowd was willing because he was a fantastic player, Alan Devonshire, fantastic, and his career was cut short by injuries, but when he was on song, when we won the cup in 80, he was unplayable, he really was. Now the manager of Maidenhead, and you wouldn't recognise him.
I don't think he's doing too bad a job.
No, he's
in the National South.
No, he's done well. He was at Braintree before that. No, playing the West Ham way.
Brilliant. The West Ham DNA.
I hope we're not shooting from here because it's a ridiculously long way out. If it ended in the back of the net, I'd be saying great choice.
Well, here we go. It's either Fearon or Battram, and it will be curled in towards the goalkeeper, and disappointing that it doesn't amount to anything. As we are in the halfway point of this first period, and that long ball finds its way back to Finley Herrick.
I'd like to say how well the groundsman here has done. When you think about this, what the time of year is, the weather we've had, and that it looks like a bowling green out there. It's fantastic.
Of course, I mean,
great testament to our chief groundsman Dougie. He does a good job.
Well done, Dougie. And to be honest, every time I'm here at Rush Green, it looks like a carpet. So, of course, he's done very well considering the adverse weather conditions recently. But all year round, it's spot on. Fearon's got some room. He tries to find Robinson. Sunderland keeping tabs on him. He's forced back to Gollum Beckis. There's another player that we've admired for his attitude, Isaac Patter.
Fantastic.
He's managed to keep on going, and just a player who's exciting to see when he plays in this West Ham side. And Adieli on that far side. West Ham feeling that was a foul. But there's good determination from Adieli to try and keep the ball after he found himself on the floor.
think he made a bit of a meal of it, if I'm honest. I think it was a foul, but then when you overdo it, the ref tends to not give it.
There's Mayers feeding it through. Adieli up against Tom Lavery.
No, it was a bit of a Tom Daly, wasn't it?
No wonder he got up so easily.
Yeah.
I take that back. Well, at least he didn't stay down. Sometimes you can see that with football, where players can just stay down and it really just breaks the momentum of the game. Well, Sunderland have a chance, as it looks slightly dangerous. He's out. Just on Ahmed Abdullah. As Jensen Jones goes on the overlap. Here is the number 11, Jensen Jones. Sunderland just trying to play it round the West Ham half. They don't have an option apart from their number 5, Joe Anderson, centre half. I've actually seen this all game where Sunderland, where every single outfield player has been in the West Ham half. They strike it from distance, and Herrick just jumping whilst he catches that.
It was good retention of the ball from Sunderland, if I'm honest, but then again, I thought it was a good block from West Ham. We was in good position, we was like sliding across when we had to slide across. It was a good barrier to try and break us down. So good play from both teams, if I'm honest. Offensive and defensive.
A good example of how you just keep them out and then force them to make that early shot, which Herrick dealt with well. Although he was in mid-air, it felt like when he caught that, so he did well.
Could have put his cap on it, Alfie, and he's making a meal of it. Bit of action. About me saying offensive and defence, sound like an American. What's happened to me?
You should commentate on NFL.
Disgraceful behaviour.
I wonder if the London Stadium will ever host that. I'm sure they'll ask you if so.
We'll never a clue about the game.
You're going to start calling this soccer soon, aren't you?
No, I don't. Stop it.
Here goes Sunderland up against Mayers. Sunderland keen to pass the ball around on the floor as well. But now they look to maybe launch it in. Jensen Jones doing well in a tight area, but that forward pass from Jaden Jones was unable to find.
They've shown they're quite a good footballing team, actually, Sunderland, to be fair to them. Here's a little quiz question. Don't look at your notes. Who's Graham Murty managed?
Rangers.
Good lad, well done.
He was the caretaker manager, and he actually had 2 spells.
He was actually the proper full-time manager for a while.
Yeah. Mark Warburton, who used to manage Brentford, he went with David Weir, who is now who's now high up at Brighton. So he actually would have worked with Graham Potter during his time at the club, Brighton, and that's when he took over. I'm trying to think of another club as well. When I looked at his Wikipedia a couple of days ago,
Murty.
I'm trying to get my photographic memory back in check. But
Graham?
Yeah.
Only actually he's been coached at a few. I mean, when I first met him, he was at Southampton. Then he went to Norwich. And he's done a bit for the FA. He's done a bit, but he actually managed Glasgow Rangers was the team he managed. Quite a big club.
Just a bit. Who's bigger?
West Ham United, bigger than anyone.
They haven't won a European Cup, Rangers, I suppose.
We're just the biggest because we're just my club.
Absolutely.
And as everyone knows, which I told a group of budding coaches today, we won the World Cup in 1966. Don't ever forget that.
The first club to win an international World Cup where countries play. But of course, I get that. It's a very proud moment for West Ham's history. I think any football club would love that, where a bulk of their players are then going to win an international cup together, and the biggest of the lot.
Yep, exactly.
Also, talking about other teams here, Sunderland under-21s, of course, with the National League Cup, they played Tamworth back in November, and they beat them 5-1. And of course, this is the same Tamworth side that managed to hold Tottenham Hotspur to a 0-0 draw in the 90 minutes.
How amusing.
Yeah, so the Black Cats can beat Tamworth, but Tottenham can't in 90 minutes. That's something to admire, or laugh at, depending.
Tottenham, who played in the so-called North London derby the other day, which makes me laugh because they actually come from Middlesex originally. They won't like that, but they did.
And I suppose Arsenal came from East London.
No, they come from South East London,
South
Woolwich,
East.
SE18, Dial Square. The North London derby should really be involving Barnet and someone, but they won't like that, the other
Barnet
teams.
and Enfield Town.
There you go.
That's the true North London derby, and unfortunately they won't be playing because Barnet are obviously in the National League, and Enfield unfortunately rock bottom of National South.
Good knowledge though to know that.
Like Patter clearing it away.
He done well there, Ty, because he made the original mistake, lost concentration, they got possession, but he's tracked back there, good 45 yards, and tidied it up.
More good work. Of course, taking that number 8, that typically Orford's on, or wears, I should say. Be exciting to see what unfolds tomorrow, but of course, so far in the opening half an hour, been fairly uneventful, been more of a tactical battle, would you say? More of a chess match, or more of just a midfield show?
To be perfectly well, if I was that with my mates, I'd call it a bit of a bore fest.
You can say that.
Tactical battle. Let's go to a tactical battle.
I think that's the modern day way of saying
no,
something may not have
commentators say
had as much excitement.
Both teams are cancelling each other out. There you go.
Brilliant. We like our cliches up here. So of course, half an hour gone. Who do you think Potter will have admired so far for their work? Can be a bit of a tricky question given the fact that it has been fairly uneventful, but
I think Emeka's done okay from the left back position or left wing back. And ball referee. I think we look quite comfortable in defence. We've set. We've had good shape, so we notice things like that. I mean, Ezra and Lewis Howe had a good cover. Preston's done one or two good things, and there's another one.
That's a lovely
get
ball.
On that.
Wow, the goalkeeper and Tom Lavery, the right back for Sunderland, almost bumping into one another there. That was a lovely first time passing from Fearon as he slid it in. The ball went behind them and Adieli was in a different direction. For a second the ball was in no man's land. Here comes Sunderland looking dangerous. Eric coming down low to save it. Oliver Bainbridge though quite far out, but he parried it in a position it could have been quite deadly for West Ham.
Could have been an absolute tapping if one of their players would have followed in.
He was 5 yards in front.
Yeah,
that would have been a clear-cut chance for the Black Cats as they try to switch it out to that right-hand side, but the ball just awkwardly goes underneath Reece Walsh on that far side. Of course, Batcham wearing the armband in front of Graham Potter, who's here tonight with the other first-team staff. That might put a bit of pressure on him. I'm not saying he couldn't deal with that at least, but it's a big thing, I'd say, to wear that.
I can't remember many times through the age groups when Ryan has been the skipper. He's not. He is vocal, but not really a shouter. He's not a Billy Bond sort of captain, but sometimes just lead by example, captain by example. They're keeping us penned in here a little bit, son. They're definitely, to use a cliche, definitely in the ascendancy.
And they're continuing to do that. Another throw. Of course, funnily enough, between West Ham and Sunderland, we went over there. The amount of goals scored and conceded this season, but they've had quite similar seasons where they'll have a burst of a few games in a row where they'll get a good winning streak, and then that may be followed by a bit of a losing streak. So they've had a bit of inconsistency and some winning streaks and some losing streaks, which we know West Ham have had and Sunderland have had too.
I mean, we started off the season fantastic. I think we won the first 5 on the bounce, which was a great start. And then we've had sort of inconsistencies apart from that in the league or along the way.
Was here Sunderland, they had a 3-match losing streak before they played Arsenal on the 16th of December. 1 win in their first 8 in all competitions. Then they won 6 in a row, including a 6-0 win over Derby County. And then after that, they lost 4 in their next 5. Fairly inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, 21's football can be like that. You don't know if they had players who weren't playing up in the first team. Now they've gone up in the first team, so they're losing the better quality of players. Then it gives a chance for under 18s to come in and fill their place. That's exactly what it's about. But in saying that, you still want to win every game you're involved with.
Of course, I suppose that could be an explanation, well, one at least, as to why you can see these long spells of a winning streak, for example, like the 5 games West Ham had, and then suddenly you may see a few of the under-21s get called up to a senior game, then giving the under-18s more time, which could then lead to some losing spells. But of course, like you said, Mark, before, it may not always be about the result. It's more just about how you can see their attitude and their development.
Without a shadow of a doubt, that's how you develop players. But there's no coach, manager, player, when the whistle wants to lose the game, they're doing their best they can to win the game, obviously. But it's not the be-all and end-all of us being in the top 3 or 4 in the 21s league. It's are we developing players to go and represent West Ham United in the first team. Most players here would feel that quite ironic coming from me, because I'm known for throwing my cap on the floor if we can see the goal. But
you may be doing that today with the West Ham beanie you're wearing, keeping yourself warm.
It's just about the passion of the club. I think Sunderland are having a little spell here, unfortunately.
Very good from Louise Al there. Even fell as he made that interception. I think as a player who's obviously 22 now, he'd be eyeing a first team move at some point this year, perhaps.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You want to be playing first team football at that sort of age now. I don't know if that's back in Brazil or here or wherever it is, but he wants to be, he's been a very, very good defender for this at this level. Been excellent.
Do you think he's someone who can then lead by voice, like a Billy Bonds, but also by example, because he is the oldest player on the pitch for West Ham?
He is, but his English is about as good as my Brazilian, which ain't the greatest.
Charles opened it up for Battram.
Should get a goal to an opportunity.
Robinson's there, but a heavy pass. Pulled across again. Chibueze has to be careful, but he is, and he throws it out quickly. That's a shame.
It was just a little bit wide from Ryan, actually. He was in Junior's path. He's running onto that and striking it.
Just a slightly lighter pass from Battram, and Robinson had a really good opportunity from that right side of the penalty area.
I don't think Mertz is over enamoured with the referee.
So, you're saying the opposition manager not best pleased with the refereeing?
No, there's one particular decision when Ryan went through there just before. He feels there was and he's letting the fourth official know that. I can say he's a mate of mine, Mertz. He's not backward in coming forward if he's got complaints to be made.
The assistant referee on this near side, maybe not best pleased to be in close proximity to someone like that, but I couldn't be a linesman. I think fair play to that job.
He's still gesticulating down there. Mertz is not happy.
He's not giving up. Here come West Ham. Adieli in towards Swire. Tries to take it around the outside, but he's just out-muscled there. Can he win it back? He can, but passes it to the opposition. Here's Bainbridge. Good pass out towards Jones. West Ham just keeping that structure once again. Jala's through the middle, of course. Swire playing out on that left-hand side.
I think they're a good passing team, Sunderland. Good,
Definitely.
sharp passing team.
They're eager to play it across the floor as well. Here's Adieli. Now see Robinson just sticking towards that central right position, with Batram more towards this right-hand side. And Robinson trying to make that central run as well. You could see the diagonal. Here he is again, playing like a centre-forward for now.
Yeah, he did pop up in an unusual position. As you said, I think he interchanged with Ryan a little bit and then just went in and stayed in.
You think that was a bit of a coincidence, or perhaps a tactical switch just for that minute?
I think it was an actual tactical switch. I really do. I mean, we've all watched Match of the Day and seen Pep Guardiola and inverted fullbacks and all that. And we all like to have a go of it now and again. I think it might have come from there. That's what the game's all about, looking at things that work and trying to replicate them yourself. I've never heard of Steve Potts or Mark Ronson mention inverted fullbacks. We did see evidence of it there, though.
Long ball up towards Ajala. Lavery, he'll pass it back. Gifted away. Batram. Can they make the most of this? Good opportunity for Ajala, but still unable to find the back of the net. It would have been offside. But it was a good save from Chibueze, who stuck out his right leg to prevent that from beating him.
I always thought when I saw the pass, I thought he was going to be offside, if I'm honest, without being a know-it-all sort of idiot. I thought it was off.
Is that just because typically Ajala can find himself in offside positions, or just the way
no,
Sunderland were playing their line?
Yeah, just the way it transpired. And
He's irritated.
That's a good pass.
As Sunderland come forward. They like to play it along the floor, but they picked out a lovely ball in the air there. To have an impact. Patter in room in front of Mayers. Here he is. Back to Ezra Mayers. Just a few minutes away from the half-time break. Both sides still cancelling each other out. Of course, Ajala in a good position. Well, it was an offside position, but West Ham got close there. As we've seen a couple of times in the last 5 or so minutes, where Sunderland have just made a mistake at the back, which has seen Batram involved at trying to set up potential West Ham opportunity.
Yeah, credit to our high press a little bit, like the first team did against Fulham in the week. They say Fulham made the mistakes for us to score, but we was also pressing them high, similar to that. But when you do press it high and you do regain possession in the final, you've got to make it count.
Of course, West Ham have played a back three for as long as I can remember at the under-21s level.
Yep.
Julian Lopetegui didn't really play a back three, but I know Graham Potter has played a back three in his time at Brighton and at Chelsea, so perhaps that could be something West Ham fans see more from the first team as well, which can be useful when bringing players up from the academy.
The 21s have played, back three for a long time. Even last year when Steve Potts was in charge, favoured the back three. A lot of it depends on the personnel. When you think of Junior Robinson and you think of Emeka, we've got 2 good natural wing backs. A very hard role to play as a wing back, and very, very taxing on them. Really hard, up and down at pace. We have got 2 good athletes who play up and down the line.
Well, it's the only position on the pitch really where you've got to cover every
Yep.
aspect of the pitch
Yeah.
in terms of the length.
It's funny if you watch, proven professionals and internationals. If they're not used to playing it, they sometimes don't get the position spot on. They're either too high like a winger, or they just play as a fullback. They don't get it right.
Jensen Jones feeding it through to Bainbridge. He goes down. Sunderland raise questions. It goes out.
I don't
for
know
a West
why,
Ham goal
but
kick.
the name of Jensen Jones seems familiar to me. I don't know if he's some sort of country and western singer or something. It's Jensen Jones.
Well, there's two JJs.
Maybe he should be a country and western singer, I'm not sure.
Well, you can speak to Graham Murty after the game and say to him if Jones wants a plan B, go into the country music. You should be a recruitment advisor.
Me or Jensen Jones?
Yourself. Give players a plan B.
How long have we got till?
Well, not surprising. 1 more minute left of this first half. There's also got a Jaden Jones as well, the number 8 this evening. Here goes Bainbridge. Joe Anderson. There's Jensen Jones. Passing it around nicely in a tight area. Very well worked. Mayers, an awkward clearance as Robinson clears that away. Doesn't go far though. Sunderland with some late first half pressure here on West Ham. Beckis trying to stick in a foot. Anderson again. West Ham just trying to stick to that stubborn shape that we've seen in this first half. Sunderland once again just sweeping the ball around them, and they go through them. Brilliant ball. Bainbridge along the floor. This is promising. Once again, Bainbridge, West Ham trying to clear it away. And that will be the end of the action. Late pressure there from Sunderland, but it will be 0-0 going into the break. Nothing really to shout about in that first half, Mark.
I think if I'm honest, and everyone knows how biased I am towards West Ham United at every level, Sunderland have been the better team. Sunderland have been the better side. They haven't dominated, but they've had more possession. They're good, crisp pass inside. They are good. They haven't created that many chances, but they've definitely been the better side. But you're not going to get much more experience than Steve Potts and Mark Robson on the side. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they change either the personnel or the shape of us. But if you continue in that vein with the team dominating, you're obviously going to go behind.
Of course, Sean Tarima, Dan Riggs, Sean Moore and Regan Clayton, the outfield players on the bench. It's goalless at the break, and we'll be back in just under 15 minutes' time for the start of the second half here at Rush Green in the Premier League 2. Welcome back, everyone. ready for the second half, and a couple of substitutions, one for either side. For West Ham, Sean Tarim has come on for Louis Zhao, and for Sunderland, Finn Garagusian has come on, the forward, Armenian. Another player who's just played in the under-18s as well, so hasn't really made his mark in the under-21, so this could be an important second half for the number 14, Finn Garagusian, as he comes on, and West Ham gets us off underway after a fairly uneventful first half. Predictions were mentioned at half-time, but time will tell to see if this second half is indifferent to the first, where of course West Ham did have that first opportunity, Mark, where Ajala was just far away from the ball in the penalty area, and it felt like it could have been a good tap in. Good work from Swaya to play that short pass.
Yeah, I feel that was our best chance of the half, actually. I mean, it was sharp and he had to adjust his feet really quickly. That was a genuine chance. But as I said, just after half time, I thought that's not a nice tackle. I did think Sunderland just shaded the half, if I'm honest. I've been informed by one of my friends, Stuart Allen, that Sunderland's first team are playing tonight. They're playing away to Burnley, so that's where some of the players who maybe normally play for the 21s, maybe on the bench at Burnley or playing for Sunderland. I don't know what their makeup is.
Of course, yeah, the 8 p.m. game this evening. That's a big game towards the top of the league as well, between Sunderland and Burnley. The two players as well that are featuring on the bench are players that were typically playing in the under-21s until recently, in Trey Samuel Ogunsuyi and Milan Aleksic, the Serbian, who they signed for $3 million.
I'll obviously want Burnley to win that. Nothing against Sunderland, but Josh Cullen is captain of Burnley, and he's an ex-West Ham youth player we have a lot of time for.
Both Sunderland sides this evening playing a side from Claret and Blue, but hopefully it's this one that wins the game. Ajala. Of course, Finn Garagusian looking to play alone as that striker. He came on for Ahmed Abdullah, a number 9 from the first half. Here's Swaya wrapping his left foot around it. And here's Lavady. Both sides calling for the ball, and it goes in favour of the away side.
It was very similar then to large parts of the first half, where Sunderland was like being the one probing, and we was banked up against them, and Sunderland banked up quite well as well. So maybe both teams defensively are hard to break down.
Of course, West Ham more so, as the stats say, in the Premier League too. Sunderland almost have an opportunity.
Fantastic starting position there from Finn Eric, the keeper. He was reading it. Likes to be involved, Finn, in most things, but good enthusiasm on the front foot.
Of course, he came up from the under-18s last season to the under-21s.
Finn's been here since
very good.
Finn's been here since Puy Academy, since he was 7, so he knows the club very well.
You're right about how he likes to get involved. Seen him a fair bit come outside of his box to act like a sweeper keeper.
Yeah, I think it's a good way of keeping yourself concentrated. Don't do the commentator's curse on him, for God's sake, Mark. But it's a good way. It is a good way of keeping your concentration, keeping you focused on the game. As it is, yeah.
Smart pass from Mayers there, as Adieli looked to almost be pushed in the back, keeping it in, and Akpata will clear that away with more conviction. There's two characters in goal really for West Ham at the under-21s level, and Mason Terry and Finlay Herrick both seem like good personalities around the changing rooms.
Top lads, really good. Different but absolute characters.
Of course, Mason Terry with Hornchurch this season, having a good season. Well, good season considering they came up last year from the Isthmian Premier Division.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go out on loan. He was at Concord Rangers last year, very busy, and now he's at Hornchurch this year.
This is a good opportunity for Sunderland.
This is dangerous.
They need that pass. Offside.
Glad that
There's the verdict on Garagusian, with the assistant referee raising his flag on this near side, but just for a brief second there, you felt like they could have opened the scoring mark.
I thought he was going to give a penalty. I didn't notice the flag. I thought it might have been a push in the back, but it did open up from there. It did open up. He didn't need to be offside. He could have just held his line, really.
You think that was solely down to the runner, or perhaps the pass being played a little late? You felt like there could have been
a combination of both. Yeah, you're right.
Here's Garagusian. Good defending there from Tarima. Of course, coming on for Luizao as Akpata sends it long in the air. Jala was onto it, but the Sunderland defender got there first. Now it's sprayed out towards Tom Lavery. Looking promising. Excellent from Golombekis. If he didn't get there, Garagusian would have. No, Swire colliding with another Sunderland player and winning a foul, not for the first time this evening.
I don't want to put pressure on Golombekis, but I think everything he's done, as he's the youngest player on the pitch, I think he's done very well. Really do.
Eric outside, outside of on the edge of his area, and that ball clipped to Sunderland player too. Commanding there from Joe Anderson.
I've noticed a couple of times in this half, I don't know if Robbo and Potts have said it, clipped a few couple of balls over the top trying to get in behind them, which we didn't do. We played everything in front of them in the first half, and they left a lot of grass behind them. Now we're actually trying to clip a few balls, because I say, keep doing the same thing and they're dominating. They're going to continue to dominate, so you have to do things to change it.
Of course, do you think taking off Luizao was perhaps to rely on Sean Tarima's ability to play out from the back more so than Luizao?
No, I might have been, but I actually think it's probably a knock.
Mayers having to win the race there, and he did so up against Reece Walsh. Eric looking to send it long. He plays a pass in towards Battram, who dealt with it well under pressure. What have you made of Tarima's season so far then, Mark, as a
he's been used mainly from the bench, but when he's come on, you know, he's dependable, Sean. He won't let you down. You can trust him to do a job. In not only in defence, he can play as a holding midfielder as well, Sean. I think it's probably his best position. But
Adieli just having the back of his shirt held there by Tom Lavery, the number 2 for Sunderland. There's pressure there from Jack Whittaker.
The one over the top, there it is.
Adieli just trying to play off the shoulder, and he wins the foul from Luke Bell, who's another 18-year-old. 6 Premier League 2 appearances, the number 6 for Sunderland this evening. Made the step up from the under-18s last season. And he's just cautioned there.
I think Sunderland are very aware of Emeka's pace. They don't want Emeka turn running at them. So they try and shut him down really early, either legally or illegally.
It's good to have an attacker like that who injects that type of fear and mindset in the opposition, as then you get opportunities like this. And once again, it's Battram and Fearon in close proximity to this free kick. Robinson, the furthest player back. So plenty to aim for, with Golombekis being one of them. Battram wraps his right foot around it, over the cluster of players and out for a Sunderland goal kick.
Hit the area he was trying to hit, but no one was. You know, sometimes you really got to be brave to get on the end of it, or be brave to defend it. It's just first contact. I think we definitely changed our style a little bit second half. We've just gone a little bit more direct.
That's to obviously combat the way Sunderland are playing, but probably because of the way they're playing with the ball on the floor. Right here.
It also might be, if you keep playing the ball over the top, their back four will naturally drop. If they drop, it gives you more space to play through anyone. So you might just hit a couple over the top, make them drop, and then play through it.
Well, Sunderland have the first corner of the second half. In actual fact, not been many corners in this game. I think only the one.
Yeah, I can't remember us having a corner. No, I really can't. Again, this is about first contact, get your position, get up against your man, and be brave and want to head it. You've got to want to head it. Like that.
Colin Beckett's doing well, but it actually finds a Sunderland player. The strike came off the back of a West Ham shirt, and it will be another corner for Sunderland. Of course, the lack of corners can be explained or illustrates the way this game has been, how it's been predominantly played in midfield. Not many strikes and goal, if any, actually.
Good header from Moridas there. It's good. Made it his own. Come into the zone he's in. I'll make that mine, clear it. Have to, all teams, not just us, but everyone does a lot of work on set pieces throughout the week. Make sure you know your jobs. Whether the subs are, come on, you take over from him, know your job. The old ball around the back's obviously some sort of signal that they're going to do some sort of corner, and the arm raised.
And Middlemass, the corner taker, number 4.
There we go. First contact's us. Second contact's us.
West Ham unable to clear it far. They'll have to be wary. As I say, good ball played in by the number 10 Whittaker. Slight slip from the Sunderland player, but here is Jack Whittaker again. It's his first Premier League 2 appearance as well. And he played once for the under-21s for Sunderland this season, and that was in the National League Cup game against Boston. Here he is again, gliding with Swire. Swire comes out on top, but just for a brief moment you felt that Middlemass was going to have room to play into. But West Ham clear it up. Here's Tarima.
There was good evidence there of why we are good defensively. With 3 headers to be won, and we got first contact on all of them. So, as I say, they've had lots of possession. I think we have defended well.
Mayers, of course, who celebrated his 18th birthday yesterday. One of the defenders that's kept them at bay. He's up against their number 7, Reece Walsh here, but Adieli goes in for a challenge. No foul there, Mark.
Definite foul. Graham Murphy's going to do his nut. Watch. He's going to absolutely do his nut.
Having words with the 4th official. Shaking his head.
Oh, come on, Josh.
Middlemass.
They've had a large stint here of possession. Not really created anything, but we have kept their concentration and defended very, very well.
It was read well by Adieli there to just duck his head as he knew there wasn't much danger behind him, so West Ham will accept a throw.
Considering that the assistant manager, assistant coach is Steve Potts, who played 505 games for West Ham as a centre half, they should defend well. That's one thing he knows a lot about. In all them games, he only scored 1 goal, so defending is what Steve Potts is about.
That's why they've only conceded 12 goals. Ranked second best in the Premier League 2. Patter sliding in. Sunderland just a slightly heavy touch there, allowing West Ham to get bodies back in important positions. Haven't left their half yet though, significantly for some time now in the second period. But here's a chance through Swire. That's the ball just run behind him. And he lays off a pass to Ajala. Beats his man. Can he beat the goalkeeper? Yes, he can. Josh Ajala getting his 4th goal in the Premier League 2. His last goal in this competition was back in August. And you fancied him there, didn't you?
I did actually. He just got a nick on it to get past the last defender. But you have to think, go back 2 minutes, 3 really important headers. And that's, it's not all about doing flip-flaps and doing 1-2s and juggling the ball. Sometimes just some honest defending is what gets you there.
It came from Herrick as well. Brilliant clearance. And the play from Swire is exceptional as well. to let the ball roll and then turn his body, finding Ajala. Goalkeeper sliding down as well to his side, just hoping that he'd make a save. But it was a strong strike from Ajala as well. The power was there.
He's read the weight of the pass. I thought the fellow was going to cut it out. He read the weight of it. Then when he got clear of him, a good finish right in the corner. Give the keeper no chance. Maybe slightly against the run of play, but that's football. We put the ball in the back of the net. We're winning 1-0. Thanks very much.
And that's what happens when you've got a strong defence. You can build from that, and that's what West Ham have done when they've got a player like Ajala.
Yep. I think our two young defenders, as in Ezra and Naridis, have done really well back there, really have.
It's now 7 goals of the season for Josh Ajala. He's enjoying this campaign at points, of course, Mark.
Yeah, there he is. Again, another, he's under 18, Josh, so they're doing well. I think the keeper looks like he's got some sort of knock.
The substitute goalkeeper is the number 13 on the bench, Daniel Cameron. This gives a chance, though, for maybe Sunderland to regroup, perhaps.
Yeah.
A tactical time to go down, as it just allows Graham Murty.
How cynical of you. But so many teams do it. So many teams do it. They say, you know, he puts the word on, the keeper goes down, nothing wrong with him. And organise, have a chat, regroup. I'm not saying Graham Murty would do that, and I know him too well, but he definitely has.
Well, I suppose people find loopholes in things, and
yeah,
it's one of them. You can't blame them, and it gives West Ham a chance to regroup after that goal, as they say. This is another cliche. You're most vulnerable after you've just scored, so this gives a chance for West Ham to just get things together.
I mean, Robbo's doing the same thing there, talking to his own team. I mean, you're obviously going to tell the back four, just continue doing what you're doing, because we have defended very, very well.
Had to withstand a lot of Sunderland pressure around the middle third, but they've dealt with it very well. There's another player who hasn't had much game time this season, apart from the competitions, is Brad Dolligan. What have you made of his season so far? The first, of course, as an Iron.
Yeah, and he's come out of non-league, as you know. He's scored a lot of goals in there from Worthing. He played in a European game against, I think it was Benfica.
Benfica and Bilbao. He got 3 goals between the 2 games.
Yeah, I think we was 2-0 down. He's an old-fashioned sort of target man, if you want. You know, he's not like a modern day 9. He's not a false 9. He played, you know. And I thought when he came on in the second half, he ran the show. He was excellent. He changed the game. Totally changed the game. And I was surprised he wasn't included in the squad. But you know, Robbo picks the team. Robbo's team's winning 1-0. What can you say?
Can't argue when the fortune is happening for you.
I mean, it's also, you know, he's come out of non-league. It's a little bit of a learning curve up at this level for him. That's probably the worst thing that the Readers has done on that back pass.
Eric dealt with it well.
He did.
Adieli trying to make things happen, but they get a throw.
I think the Readers is sort of half apologising to Finn. Something was said and they was both smiling. So.
What do you think your pal Graham Murty will be saying to his players? What do you think he said in that little hustle?
He was saying that he don't deserve to be behind. Probably he's not incorrect. So I think they have shaded the game, but
eyes on the assistant referee. It could look like Garagujan could have been offside, trying to make something happen, but he forced that into the path of Reece Walsh.
They're really
tricky ball to deal with that.
Yeah, and they're really difficult decisions to give there for linesman, because he was so close to him. He's not looking across the line, he's right on top of him. He might well have been offside, he might have knocked him. They are difficult for the officials to give. I think the longer it goes on at 1-0, in the way, I think they'll come out and come out and come out, and it might leave holes in behind them. Hopefully for us to get a second.
Something to build on. Of course, West Ham have had 2 1-0 wins this season, both coming on in the early period when they experienced that 5-match winning streak against Norwich here, which Ajala scored in as well. that 1-0 win. And then, of course, against Newcastle away, where Kamari Swire scored to get all 3 points for the Hammers that day.
It's funny, I spoke about it earlier, about Ollie Scholes and Declan Rice, both being players that come from Chelsea. Josh Ajala's one as well. He wasn't offered a scholarship at Chelsea. We stepped in and offered him a scholarship and took it over. Then Chelsea subsequently offered him one. But he said, no, I said I'm going to West Ham and I'm going to West Ham.
Whereas West Ham's a very attractive club in London for youngsters as well. So when one does get let go from a club like Chelsea, West Ham can seem like a really good offer if they do come calling.
Yeah. Obviously, as I've said many times, there's no bigger club than West Ham to me, but that's not the same as everyone.
You're allowed to look at it that way, Mark.
Yeah. I'd like to think that everyone looks at it that way of their own club. That's the club. You should be, right behind your club. Through thick and thin.
Absolutely. Can't always be sunshine and rainbows, and I suppose the short-sightedness in football sometimes can hinder fans' views as well. Understand the process as well.
Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think, definitely for me personally, all the years of relegations and stuff like that, when you actually do win something, the night in Prague, it was so special. I am convinced that we have got the best fans in the world, but I always do say that. What we've had, some teams make me laugh. We haven't won the league. We've never won the league. We've never won the league. But we're thick and thin.
There's such a large following as well, which just bolsters the club's size around the world.
Yeah.
It's something a lot of clubs admire, the West Ham fan base.
We show tremendous loyalty, West Ham fans, tremendous. And I always say that to everyone, the pride of my supporters. It's fantastic. Sunderland are similar. To be fair to Sunderland, they've got a good loyal fan base, very similar.
Yeah.
Not a very successful club, if I'm honest.
Ajala just sliding it through to Swire. Sunderland now tried to come forward, a slip. Unfortunate there for the number 6, Luke Bell, but West Ham won't mind.
I think there's been a couple of times when we've broke their play up, got to sort of the halfway line and haven't combined, but there is lots of grass in behind. If you look how high Sunderland are now, they're probing and they're asking a lot of questions.
In the meantime, McPatter's gone down. He didn't touch the ball, and that's a worrying sign.
I'd get that ball out, Finn, actually.
Hopefully it's nothing serious.
I've got to be honest, didn't see what happened, did you? I didn't remember it.
Well, I think he didn't go down having collided with someone on the ball. I'm unsure. It happened quite quickly.
He's got up.
I think something happened. He stayed up and then realised the pain was quite high, so had to go down. Mayers as well, just holding his right foot in the penalty area to our right, but he's all fine to carry on as he's back up on his feet.
How long was actually gone? How long gone in the game? 20 minutes.
We're reaching the final 20 minutes.
I'm going to make a bold prediction and prove myself wrong and say I don't think this game's going to end up 1-0 to West Ham.
Okay, we'll elaborate on that. How many more goals do you think there is in this game?
I think there'll be one more goal.
Well, this is the goal that separates these two sides. Will there be more? It was a fine goal, fine link-up between Swire and Ajala, beating his man and firing it home. And you've got to give credit there to Finlay Herrick. Got some distance on that kick, which allowed West Ham to get up the pitch quickly as well.
Yep, and Cam for making it stick up there and playing a good weighted pass. Actually, I thought he'd undercooked it, but it was a well weighted pass, and Josh for reading it. Good.
Looks like Sean Moore's going to be coming on in a second, as he's now in his kit to come on. Down to our left for the final 20 minutes. Good pressure there. And can West Ham capitalise? Here's the player that got the assist. Can he get another one? Fearon trying to edge it to his right, where Batram was, but it falls back in territory for Sunderland. Not for long, as they win it back through Adieli. Swire is out on this left-hand side. Adieli wins the foul, and Akpata enters play again.
I think Preston should have shot there rather than pass. He's inside the box, just a bit selfish.
Sometimes, of course, players can be too unselfish, may not have the confidence to strike it there and then, but Swire. Golombekis. Sunderland really pressing in on this back three, specifically on Meyers and Golombekis. Swire with the back of his shirt pulled slightly. Once again, being fouled and brought down. He's not given up, Swire, showing brilliant work ethic this evening.
I think he was only fouled 5 times. Great bit of skill to start with. Did you see there how composed Golombekis was there? He's been right shut down. He's only a young lad playing against older players. Looks really composed, assured of the situation. I know what I'm doing. Josh is going off.
So the goal scorer coming off.
I think he'll push Cam more in down the centre, and Sean will play off the wide.
Swire's been good down this left-hand side.
Even when
when
he's playing as a 9, he'll drift. He'll just drift into little pockets, and then he wants to get himself turned, get him forward facing.
On comes Sean Moore, hoping that he can add to this 1-0 lead. Last time he scored was in the 3-2 win against Chelsea, and of course was the last win in the Premier League 2 West Ham had in Rush Green, or at Rush Green. Preston Fearon trying to play it in behind from this left-hand side. He's trying to play it through Akpata and Fearon, and Sunderland almost did that. Here's Laverty. Back to Middlemass. Batram with a little push, which sees Middlemass go down and Sunderland win a free kick.
I think you're allowed to break up play if you're a captain. That's what sort of something gets past you. Not doing your job properly.
Make them know that you're there. Straight in for Sunderland, but West Ham get a throw in. Of course, West Ham, after this, the under-21s travel to, they make that very long journey to Dagenham and Redbridge, their second home at the Chigwell Construction Stadium, to finish off their group stage in the National League Cup. That will be a kick-off time at 7:45. It'll be live on the West Ham YouTube channel. Do, of course, like and comment to this stream and subscribe to the Hammers YouTube channel, who bring you these live stream games of the under-21s and so much more of the rest of the club as well.
If you look over the trees to our right over that park, you can see Dagenham's ground. No, the other way, over there.
Decent sized ground, about 6,000.
Yeah.
Of course, the women play there on Sunday as well. Kick-off time at 3 o'clock. In the meantime, Robinson testing the goalkeeper, and it will be a corner. If you just heard a loud bellow, that will be Mark Robson
I think
beneath
there,
us.
because we had a situation there where we had the numbers, we had a 3v2, and he's looking for Junior to pull that square, we'll pull it back. We did break the lines there, we did get in behind him. I can see why Junior would shoot, but
yet to score this season, and he felt like he could have had a chance there. Fairly unorthodox goal save from Chibuwezi.
Yep.
Kind of jumped and palmed it behind the goal.
as I said, I think that they go looking for that equaliser, we might get situations like that. Hopefully we will.
And just over a quarter of an hour to go.
This isn't our first corner, is it?
I actually think it is. Can they make something happen from it? Here's Golombekis, what a player to score. He's unselfish and fields it towards Adieli. Tricky feet. Fearon first time in. And safe for Kelechi Chibueze to collect. As he throws it out quickly, Sunderland trying to look to hit them on the transition, but they can't do that for long as Adieli wins the ball back. Fearon towards Adieli. Sunderland keep it in. Could that be detrimental as Batram manages to win it back? Like Pater. Fearon fizzing it over to Dreamer. One more lurking around Robinson, but he plays in the ball.
We've had a good little spell the last 5 minutes. The game's been played to my left more than to my right. We had the junior cross chance, and that was starting to hopefully control the game. Not going to say Sunderland's run out of steam, but they was controlling it. Get it to Emeka. Get it to Emeka. We're in business here. Yeah, maybe quicker.
Only the one substitution still used by Graham Murty. That was Finn Garagusian, of course, the striker. Hasn't had much to go off in this second half since coming on. As for West Ham, though, of course, Fearon and Akpata may be a new midfield duo we see now for the rest of the season, depending on what happens with Lewis Orford in the first team. I'm sure he'll still be back in the side as well.
Yeah.
What have you made of their central midfield partnership? As it's been played a lot in midfield this evening.
Yeah, I think that they worked really, really hard. They haven't been over creative, if I'm honest. Which Lewis Orford, his range of passing is excellent. That is where we would miss Lou in there, creating things, especially the grass that they're leaving there behind them. Sunderland, I think Lou would find a pass in behind them. But they've done a good, I mean, as I say, defensively, West Ham have been very good tonight. Yeah. The back five, if you want to call them that, and the midfield have done really well.
Say Golombekis so far worthy of a player of the match, if not speaking too soon.
If you was asking me on the television, like they ask them normally 15 minutes before the end, ridiculously, I would give it to him. Good show.
Player of the match for the first 75 minutes goes to Eridas Golombekis. Of course, still a crucial amount of the game still left to play.
I also think Ezra Myers has done well alongside him, but I think Eridas has just for me, just nicked it.
And they come down the left. Is it going to creep out of play? Robinson's up against it. Ball's around. Sunderland looking purposeful. Here's Laverty. Just trying to make things work with the short passing, but that pass from Lavery is quite heavy.
A lot of their passing, it has been crisp and it has been good. A lot of it's been in front of us. We've set a block, we're in there, break us down if you can. We have, really concentrated well, slid across when we had to. Really done well defensively.
Eric with the long range pass. The first time he did that, it helped to a goal. But Joe Anderson manages to get a decisive enough touch to take it away. Slightly worrying though for the goalkeeper as West Ham look to capitalise, and it's a foul. Unfortunate there as Sean Moore could have had a brilliant opportunity to get a goal.
None of the players complained about it, so it must have been a foul. For me, I wasn't so sure.
For a brief second, I was hoping Bryn was going to get away with that.
Turned into a little bit of a game of basketball here. You ever go, we ever go sort of turn out.
Often happens in these types of games. Seen it a few times. I remember a big basketball game we've watched this season was the Chelsea game, the 3-2 win. Of course, there were more goals in that than there has been this evening, but that was certainly a you ever go, we ever go type narrative.
And that could be down to the, as you mentioned earlier, maybe a midfield pairing, a midfield pairing. They may be getting tired, they might be getting fatigued, so maybe it might be. We've still got substitutes up our sleeve. So we got on the bench.
Dan Brigg and Regan Clayton, the outfield players. Of course, Mason Terry, but
I mean, Regan Clayton is predominantly a left-sided left back, left wing back, but can play centre back, can play holding midfield. I'd just love to see him on the pitch after he's been out so long with injury, really.
There's Adieli. Room in front of him, but it's closed down by the two right-sided players for Sunderland. Viren has a chance to whip it in. No player there. Could find Robinson. Instead he goes out for a Sunderland throw. I suppose there aren't any out-and-out midfielders to bring on.
Dan Riggs a midfielder, but he's an attacking midfielder. He's not really there predominantly like holders, if you want to call them that. But there is thing. I mean, Regan can definitely play as a holder. I'm not sure that Robbo's aware of it. Regan's played in midfield.
I suppose could Gabriel Caliste play there? I know he's not in the lineup.
Yeah, no, Gabs could play there. See, I think there you go. Regan's coming on.
Oh, what a moment it is for Regan Clayton. Great to see him back out on the pitch. So he looks to come on for the final 10 minutes.
There's no one more pleased than me to see Regan on the pitch. He's a really good lad. He is, well, not all this lot, what you would call one of our own, but he's one of our own. He comes locally. He's come, I think he came to us when he was 10, and he does a good job. He's a good talker as well. He's a good communicator, Regan. Not off the pitch. He's got far too much to say for himself. Too much backfire and
keep
banter.
it to the professional side.
Yeah, but he's good on the pitch.
Good. Well, what a time that is for him. It's great to see him back out. Happy for yourself and for West Ham and Regan Clayton and his family to see him come back on.
Yep,
after a long time. Obviously, you gave him credit for the attitude he showed earlier on in this game about how he managed to deal with the setback. So hopefully 2025 is a very good year for Regan Clayton. Of course, he comes on for Preston Fearon, and also who came on for Sunderland was Aaron Chung.
Great pass.
Sean Moore. Slightly heavy there. Swires around. Clayton in front of him. Isaac Patter. Matchram. West Ham just forced back. Clayton with his first touch since coming on. Well, it looks like Clayton's playing in this left back role.
Yeah.
As to who do you think will be playing in central midfield? It looks like Batchram actually.
Yeah, Ryan can do a job as I say, holding midfield.
And Sean Moore, of course, goes into that right attacking role. Colin Beckis looking for the long ball. Headed away by Sunderland. Of course, if West Ham were to win this, it'd be 4 wins in 4, which is their best run all season in all competitions. Of course, they did win 5 in a row, but that was just in the Premier League 2.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely gone in central midfield. Ryan's in there now with Tyrone. Of
course, under 21s winning 3 in a row, could make it 4. Last time they won 3 games in a row was in fact last January, a year ago, where they won 2 Premier League 2 games against West Brom and Stoke, and then backed it up with a Premier League International Cup win. Unfortunately, that Premier League International Cup was successful last year in the fact that they did go far into the semi-finals, but this year they couldn't quite get the wins that they would have liked.
Didn't we, no, I'm not going to question your knowledge, I thought we won the first 4 games of the season. Or maybe we had games in between.
In the Premier League 2.
Yeah, I thought we did. Season started.
Of course.
I'm not disputing it.
Oh no, don't worry. I don't take that. Don't take the questioning to heart. There was a few EFL Trophy games right at the beginning of September as well.
Do not like this picture.
This is a good opportunity for Sunderland as they try to make room, but there's an offside. And a very symmetrical response from the both Sunderland coaches.
A little bit like when we had Preston, the fellas midway through the box, he chose to putt. I'm thinking he's going to try and curl it in the other corner. I'm glad he didn't, but
obviously Sunderland would have just wanted to see him pull the trigger.
Yep.
Because he was about 6 yards out. He could have just poked it into that corner. I mean, it's easy for us to say, but I think obviously we do see a lot of players favour this idea of walking it into the back of the net, and sometimes that can make your hair, in fact, it can make the fans pull their hair out.
Yeah. That's why 54 years of watching West Ham United on board as a coup.
That was well worked. Clayton, can he get an assist as Moore wraps his left foot around it? Just seeing it go wide. That was good work from Adieli on the byline.
It was. Would have been great for Regan to come on and get an assist. I think what Mark and Steve will be very happy with is the work rate all around the side. Concentration and work rate. We've gone into a deeper block here.
Well, so far they've shown that they can defend, albeit there have been a couple of times where Sunderland, if they did choose the striking option, the scoreline could be different.
I think West Ham are quite comfortable in Sunderland if they're putting any crosses in. We've dealt with any crosses quite well. It's when they're more intricate and they're sliding balls down the side of us. It's a free kick, isn't it, ref?
More back towards Tarima. We tried to get some distance on that, but instead it goes out of play for a throw still in the West Ham half, which Sunderland take quickly as we have just under 4 minutes left of the 90.
When that ball travelled back there, we should have got up more. Should have got up and out, maybe nicked 5 or 10 yards. Here we go.
We flicked away.
Very well in the air.
Clayton playing it forward as Swire just leans out his right leg and wins the throw-in. Had Luke Bell shouting at the assistant referees there, and Graham Murty shaking his head at these decisions made.
Bit of industrial language, I think, there from the player.
That's frustrating for Sunderland.
It must be a frustrating game for Sunderland. They've had lots to play. They've been in our final third quite a lot, but we've just defended well. That's the name of the game.
Sunderland got a chance to try and get the ball forward. Graham Murty encouraging his players to go now. And that's what they do. West Ham having to be really careful with their defending now. And be focused. Because of course, as Sunderland have dominated it, it's always harder when you're chasing the ball. But West Ham have still had their chances. Clayton coming forward. Mark Robson furious that the decision didn't go their way. Could this open up an opportunity for Sunderland? Every player in the West Ham half now. As Lavery floats in a ball towards that far side, and now Moore.
Great.
As West Ham look to come forward and hit them on the counter. Swire's in room, but Moore takes it alone, and Sunderland close him down and win it back.
Good defensive header earlier from Sean Tarima there. Really good header. Joined in with the rest of the back four.
Aragusian laying it off to Lavery. He tries to just feed it in behind Mayers, but that's good defending once again to stick out a leg there and clear it away. Of course, we've mentioned Golan Beckis, but it's been a very good performance from Ezra Mayers as well.
Yep,
it's a brilliant cohesive unit.
It's hard to split the pair of them. They really have done well.
Encouraging to see for things of 2025 with the likes of Caelan Casey potentially getting more minutes in the senior side. There may be a space there, and Golan Beckis so far is looking to try and make that his own. Adieli almost being pushed off. He certainly is there, but not illegally. Here they come again from the left. Floated in again. Not the best height there. It was fairly an awkward one.
It was the first
wasn't for the head, wasn't for the foot.
No, it sort of bounced just in front of Aridis, but he deserves a little bit of fortune. The game he's had has been fantastic.
It's added on time, about to be announced. It's going to be about 5 minutes. And here is the number 5, Joe Anderson, out towards Brainbridge. Looking to go from distance, and Herrick knew when that was in the air that it was not threatening him.
I don't think that's going to please Graham Murphy.
Both arms raised, just questioning his player as to why he made that decision. He's even looking at you as to say, what is he doing?
As I said earlier, me and Mertz are good friends.
Ah, good. What do you think he'd be like as a coach to play under?
Very passionate. I mean, he's played, played for Reading, Southampton, York City. He's had a good career. He knows the game inside and out. He's also a fantastic squash player.
Is he?
Yeah. But he didn't tell me that until we was halfway through the game. I worked it out
when he served it first.
We had a game, and I played for fun, not bad. After he was I think it was 6-0 up, he did tell me he was a county player. He's a good squash player, I can assure you. In fact, he's one of them, he's a bit annoying, he's good at every sport.
Oh, an all-rounder.
Yeah, he's all them.
They're always smug, but
yeah,
rightly so. I would be if I was. Punched away by Herrick, albeit I think there was another player that got it away as well.
Hello.
This is an opportunity for a counter.
Don't stop, Sean. Don't stop. Don't even look
Sean
back.
Moore looking to spot the keeper off his line. Hitting it over and wide. And that would have sealed it. He did have the 2 Sunderland players chasing him quickly. He didn't have much room to work in. And they were closing him down.
I'm having just run with the ball, and eventually one of them would have fouled him. And we got possession high up the pitch.
Well, Sunderland still have an opportunity. They're still in this game.
They've got some numbers as well. They've got some numbers here.
Atram having to scurry to the byline. This is a really good opportunity. Leg save from Herrick.
Good save and all.
Still alive here for Sunderland.
Just clear it. Up, get out.
Maybe from distance.
We're sitting in.
On the left.
Oh, good lad.
And that will please West Ham. Sighs of relief as Luke Bell hits it with his left foot.
Good save from Finn Herrick.
Excellent.
When it was called upon, good save. I didn't like that picture. They had good numbers on us. But they were going to find one, a clear one.
I suppose in parts just the finishing has let Sunderland down, because to be honest, it's been a fairly even game. Of course, we've spoken about Sunderland dominating it with the ball, and it's been a terrific display from West Ham defensively, but Sunderland haven't made the wisest of choices when it comes to their attacking, which has played into West Ham's hands.
Exactly right.
Still over 2 minutes to go. An opportunity now for Jensen Jones. As Regan Clayton just tries to get the ball away, but then I think he's been done for obstructing Jensen Jones. Cheeky little push on Regan Clayton there.
Yeah, he might have just been a little bit rusty there, Regan. This is important, extremely. First contact, which the way tonight's been going, I'd fancy us to get it, but
nervy moments for the Hammers as they look to try and close in their 4th victory in a row, their 2nd of 2025. The free kick for Sunderland stands in their way. It's whipped in, headed away by West Ham. They do the job, but not for long. And now the win is looking ever more likely, if not certain, for the Hammers. Just under a minute to go.
Again, first contact, we've won it. Fell out to there, fell under the box, got there quick and closed him down.
And that's what you've done all second half as well, with the corners, winning those first balls and then the second balls, and then that just completely diminishes any threat Sunderland have when it comes to taking those set pieces.
Yep.
So another reason as to why West Ham still have this clean sheet intact. Less than 30 seconds to go. Finn Herrick with the goal kick. Sunderland win it. Clayton looking to just see the ball go out of play. Sunderland are frustrated, if not furious.
No, he's a good liner. Great decision.
As they believe the ball didn't go out of play.
It's well out. It's at least half an inch out.
I suppose people watching from the YouTube stream can use their streamer's video assistant referee and go back on that to see if the ball did go out of play or not. But it doesn't matter, as that is the end of the action, and West Ham get their first win in the Premier League 2 since September. 4 wins in a row, and it's thanks to their number 9, Josh Ajala, whose fine second half strike beat Kelechi Chibueze for Sunderland to get all 3 points. Mark, your verdicts on the game.
It shows I don't know that much about the game, because I was predicting there's definitely going to be another goal in the last 20 minutes, but I'll hold my hands up to that. I think the West Ham defence was excellent, including Finn Herrick, 2 centre-halves, the 2 holding midfielders and wing-backs, really from a defensive point of view. It wasn't a game we controlled and was like, you know, creating loads and loads of opportunity, and we wasn't that creative, but as a unit, you know, I thought we really did defend well, we really did. And there's a lot to be said in that, a lot to be said in defending.
Absolutely.
Good. And it was, and let's be fair, it was a good goal to win it. It was a good goal. You know, Cam held the ball up top. He held it on. Good goal. Good goal to win the game. There it is.
Of course, the long ball from Herrick.
Cam's done well. He's fighting 2v1 there. He's fighting 2. He's drawing players to him. Just enough weight on it. Josh has seen the fella slide in and just tucked it right in the corner, giving the keeper no chance. So it's well worthy of winning the game.
Of course, the under-21s have done their job. It's over to the senior side, wishing them the best of luck, of course, for Lewis Orford, Caelan Casey and Ollie Scarles as well, who look to be featuring in this side for tomorrow's London derby. And then, of course, the women's host Chelsea on Sunday, and the under-21s are back in action, National League Cup action, 7:45 kickoff, Tuesday the 21st of January, away at Dagenham and Redbridge. We'll be covering that one. Mark, thank you very much for joining me. Everyone have a lovely weekend. Enjoy it. It ends here. West Ham 1, Sunderland 0.